Hello, fellow traders, 'tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, June the 23rd. The year's 2025. Let's talk trading, weekly open and gap. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And as we go into the last trading week of the month, full trading week that is, let's make sure we have risk management in place so we do not lose more than we're willing to lose on any one single trade or during any one session. And I'll just go through these screens. We haven't looked at them in a while. Brain management. Let's not have any fear or regret. And I just want you to remember, pain does not come from the market. It comes from your reaction to the market. And on the money management side, you have to take your profit before the market takes it back. So you need to have a plan. You might want to take half off and move to stop the break even, or move it to break even +1 when you're up by 5 or more pips. That way you don't let a winner turn into a loser. And something to keep in mind, no matter how good you are, every win is luck because you don't control the market. So looking at the monthly, you can see we're still in the upper wick zone of the month. We're 13 pips above that monthly open. We shot across it a little while ago. 153 pips off the high, 109 off the monthly low. And for the week, 81 pips above the open. Looks like we're just about wanting to take out that weekly pivot. And we're less than a pip off the high and 109 off the bottom. And we have a few pairs that have not filled the gap. I noticed the yen's at 146. I remember, I think it was last week, it was all the way down around, let's see, wasn't it down around 144? Yeah. It was actually low, 143. Yeah. So anybody betting on the dollar, that would have paid off nicely. And here, looking at the daily, we're putting in the opening range for the week, which is going to be a nice range, about 110 pips or more, depending on what happens to the rest of the day. Look at the daily. That's a return bar, huge return bar. We're in the opening range for the month. Once again, I said we shot across that monthly open. In fact, we're 15 pips to the good at the moment. For the year, 969 pips across that yearly open. We are 154 off the yearly high and 1,379 pips off the low. And we're below that inside bar from 5 days ago. We got some inside bar action happening here. Lots on the monthly, but not so much on the daily or week. Well, looks like we do have about half and half on the weekly. 110 pips of range so far today. Let's see, looks like the new beast, the pound New Zealand's the big winner, with Euro New Zealand coming in second by only 4 pips. What's kind of interesting is the pound went up and the dollar went up on the yen. Well, let's see, dollar Canadian's down from the open, dollar Frank's down from the open. That's a euro, only 85 pips in range. Ranges are definitely muted. You can see here, putting in a huge return bar on M30. I was talking with Walmart a couple hours or so ago. and price was down here, and that was definitely there's a nice turn trade continuation happening there. And if you look left, you see there's definitely a bunch of people wanting to sell in this level. So, red rats, get prepared. Got a new M30 coming up in about 2 seconds. Let's see what happens. And we're approaching that weekly pivot. So let's see. Price, daily open below the pivot point. Bambino Flex said short. Price near R1 short. Near pivot. So we're at the pivot right here. We're in that central pivot area right now. Looking for shorts. We took out the daily pivot. Missed the weekly by 4 pips. And we've taken out the monthly. In that upper wick zone from yesterday, notice we hit the previous midpoint. It didn't hold. See, yeah, rats. Red rats, time to eat. Whoops. Missed the chart. So looking at the smart ranges, 110 pips so far, 0 percentile over the last 12 weeks. So we got some room to go. We have not broken out of the previous week's high, but we did break out of the previous week's low by 13 pips. Right now we're 11, 12 pips off the high, 99 off the low. Weekly crossover traders, 81 to the north and 28 to the south. Simple price action. You can see here we hit that psychological. So note we want 1, 2, 3, 4 psychologicals, 100 pips. So anything can happen, of course. Note that last H1, or rather last M30 was 55 pips. They're almost, it just needs to come back, cool off a bit. So I'd look for it to come back and test that 50 area. And you can look left here, which is right around that daily open. And see, that was a flip-flop box trade here. Also a highest low on the M1. Good for about 7 pips if you stuck it. There's that nice one ball, which to me says get out. Because more times than not, maybe it's just selective memory, but I remember all the times not getting out when I see a one ball and price just reversing on me, versus the times I get out and it continues. It just seems that's just a good rule of thumb for me. Your experience might be different. And let's see here. I'm still working on the EMA 5 difference. You can see here everything's green. So basically what I'm looking at, if this doesn't exceed here, then it's time to short. So for example, right here, it didn't exceed it. So if you've gone short, you could have picked up a couple of pips. And then right here, it didn't exceed it. So if you would have gone long, once again, you could have picked up about 5 pips almost. And that's all it is. It's just the difference between the current and the previous EMA 5 level. And the range for months 262, we haven't pushed it. So we're still only at 58% ATR. We need to move that needle. Or, let's see, well, we will be next to the bottom. We had 157 back in 2019. Okay, let's zoom out first. So for the month, inside the upper wick zone, higher high, higher low. And price did cross above that monthly open. Down to the week. Prices between the wick zones, lower high, lower low. So that's a lower candle, even though it's green. And then for the daily, inside that upper wick zone, we crossed above the pivot, 3466. Lower high, lower low, even though once again, green candle. So, fellow traders, that's about it. Let's just, so there's a 1 ball and then it reversed. Once again, that highest low level. We can just watch price. And I think I told Walmart earlier that I believe price needed to come back down to 34.13 or 14 for some reason. Don't remember why. That was a few hours ago, or an hour or so ago. But there was something around here that caught my eye. And because it was heading down right here and didn't quite make it. I don't remember if there was a gap, but there was something down here that made me think price needs to reach 34.14. Probably should have written a note. And you can see here on M30 we put in a 3 ball. Let's see if we go. Oh, I don't have the look at the M30. You see, there was that open gap right here. It got filled. But this is definitely a return bar. So I look for price to get back down to the open of 133.99. No, wrong candle. 134.24. So yeah, it should probably come back down to the psychological 25. So fellow traders, that just about wraps up the day. And the one trader says they wanted me to go over the original whole low. So I'll try and do that this week. But always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go go out there and train the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.